broom and a basketball. They don't seem to have much in common, but you can't look at either one of these items without thinking of a particular Oklahoman. David Boren took a common household broom and turned it into one of the most memorable campaigns in Oklahoma history. Wayman Tisdale picked up a basketball and created, well, magic. The combination of sports and politics have a long history in America. Tennis, swimming, football, water skiing, sailing, skating, and skiing were staples in the active lives of the Kennedy family. President John F. Kennedy's love of sports and public policy led him to challenge Americans to become more active and physically fit. In Tulsa, Kennedy's message was not lost on the Reverend Lewis Tisdale, whose son Wayman would become one of Oklahoma's best basketball players and most popular athletes. Along the way, President Kennedy no doubt inspired a young David Boren to pick up this broom and sweep out the old guard. Please enjoy this video tribute as we honor and recognize two men who have followed John F. Kennedy's example of leadership, service, and achievement.
John F. Kennedy was elected the 35th President of the United States in 1960 and remains the only Catholic ever to serve in that high office. President Kennedy was also a proud Knight of Columbus. He joined Bunker Hill Council 62 of Charlestown, Massachusetts in 1946. He became a fourth-degree knight in 1954. Service to the nation as the hallmark of a good citizen was the message of John F. Kennedy. In 1960, the word went forth to the world that the torch of freedom had passed to a new generation, and John F. Kennedy carried that flame of liberty. President Kennedy's words that called a new generation to better their communities rings as true today as when he said,
"Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country."
Kennedy challenged America to be its best, strive for the best we can be. He called Americans to serve in a cause greater than ourselves. He challenged us to go to the moon, to join the Peace Corps, go to college and change our world. The JFK years were special in America. We call them Camelot. For one brief shining moment, we had our dream and our Sir Lancelot. That time was so short, but the echoes still call out to our memories. We can change our world. Each of us can make a difference. Each of us should make a difference. We honor that spirit tonight. "1974 was a turbulent year in America and Oklahoma. Our political institutions seemed to be coming apart at the seams. An unpopular war in Vietnam dragged on, and the Watergate crisis was at the point of impeachment hearings. In Oklahoma, the governor's office faced scandal and criminal investigation. Amidst these dark clouds, a little-known reform-minded state representative from Seminole announced his bid for governor. With only 2% name recognition, David Boren's decision to take on a sitting governor from his own party seemed as brash as it was bold. But no one could have foreseen what was to come. In the months that followed, the Boren Broom Brigade swept away the old guard and made David Boren the youngest sitting governor in America at just 33 years of age. Boren had carried all 77 counties in one of the largest landslides in state history. David had beat Goliath again.
His victory was a remarkable victory. And it began as a sort of children's crusade. Literally, he had the youngest people imaginable in his campaigns. In one town in southeastern Oklahoma, when he had his first rally, a 15-year-old young man came, and he was the only one that came, so David made him chairman of his campaign in that county. When miracle of miracles happened and he got elected governor, later the people from that county came to meet with David to ask him for some political favors, and they mentioned that they had cleared it with the 15-year-old who had been the only one to show up at David's campaign. So he brought young people He was a magnet for young people, and he brought those people into office as governor. There was a lot of new blood, a lot of new ideas, a lot of creativity in the office of governor.
The meteoric rise of David Boren has never faded. Today, he is one of Oklahoma's favorite sons and one of America's most respected statesmen. Son of Oklahoma Congressman Lyle Boren, David graduated Phi Beta Kappa from Yale University in 1963. He completed his master's degree 2 years later as a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford University in England. In 1968, he earned a law degree from the University of Oklahoma. Boren began a lifetime of public service in 1966 when he was elected to the Oklahoma House of Representatives from Seminole County. His election as governor in 1974 poised him for greater heights, and in 1978, Boren was elected to the U.S. Senate. He became well known for his bipartisan influence and expertise in the art of political compromise. During his 3 terms in the Senate, he became the longest-running chair of the powerful Senate Intelligence Committee and secured his place among America's greatest political leaders.
I was on the selection committee and had many conversations with David about his coming to the university as president. And I formed a question for him. I said, do you want to impact bureaucracy or do you want to impact souls? And I think that he will have a far greater impact on Oklahoma, and perhaps even much broader because he's maintained his national and international contacts, but as president of the University of Oklahoma.
In 1994, Boren voluntarily left partisan politics to become president of the University of Oklahoma. The Boren years have been nothing short of a renaissance. Since assuming the presidency, OU has added 20 new academic programs, broken ground on nearly $1 billion in construction projects, and taken the university endowment to unprecedented levels. The OU donor base has more than quadrupled, and in his first 10 years alone, another $1 billion in private gifts were donated to the university. Today, the University of Oklahoma is among the top 15 public universities in the nation in private endowment per capita.
Well, I don't know that there's much anybody can say to truly thank David Boren for what he's done for this state and this country. Any discussion of public service, certainly in this state, and I really believe in this nation, would have to include the name David Boren.
David Boren is quoted as saying, "Simple things like honesty, knowing right from wrong, openness, self-respect, and the courage of conviction make the difference between a nation that is truly great and one that is merely rich and powerful." These words truly embody Boren's lifetime of service, and they echo the challenge and spirit that John F. Kennedy brought to our country almost 5 decades ago.